ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE Raw and Smackdown review for the Superstar Shakeup or Shakeup Superstar roster bullshit extravaganza that Vince McMahon decided to create. I just have to say this. I was not impressed with Raw. It had good matches, some decent matches. The main event for Raw last night sucked balls, heavy duty. I was not really happy with that, with Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. So I wasn't impressed with that whatsoever. But there was some other things that happened on the show with Raw. And SmackDown was pretty solid. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was pretty solid, especially the main event with determining the number one contender with AJ Styles winning the match by hitting the phenomenal forearm against Sami Zayn between himself, Sami Zayn, and Baron Corbin. So Kevin Owens carrying the U.S. title now on SmackDown. If he loses the title will stay on SmackDown with whoever's holding on to it. So if Chris Jericho wins, he will be part of the SmackDown roster. So that should be quite interesting. So if there's a possibility, we might see even a title change with Chris Jericho being on SmackDown as U.S. champion for a second time, and Kevin Owens back over on Raw, where, truthfully, in my opinion, he really belongs. Because him and Samoa Joe have something they could build together as a faction and create a humongous faction within Monday Night Raw. Just all the matter of how they're going to do it. But I honestly think Kevin Owens is going to retain the U.S. title because Chris Jericho is actually leaving to do a tour for his band. So I don't see that actually happening anytime soon. So just going through the list and just giving my overall opinion just more towards the picks that were made, changes that were made on the rosters to see what my thoughts were on and how I feel about it. First that topped it off was Miz and Maurice. Well, to be quite honest with you, I don't feel that Miz and Maurice should be on Raw. I think they should have stayed on SmackDown. They were building some really great momentum on SmackDown. Now that they're on Raw, I don't think that they're going to be able to create the same kind of heat that they did on SmackDown. Not to mention they were carrying over the scenario with Miz and Maurice's issue with John Cena and Nikki Bella, just making fun of them again while they're on a different show. That made absolutely no fucking sense when they're no longer going to even be interacting with John Cena at this point. So I was not really impressed with that pick. It did make sense in some way, though. I mean, Daniel Bryan wasn't a big fan of The Miz. He had altercations verbally with him. So it did make sense, though, for in a logical standpoint to move him over to Raw, simply because of that aspect. But putting him on Raw, though, I don't think is going to help him out career-wise. So I think SmackDown would have been his best bet to stay on, but hey, what are you going to do? We then get Dean Ambrose going on Raw, and this one didn't make any sense either. Personally, I thought this was kind of silly, to be quite honest with you, because of the fact that he is the Intercontinental Champion. He has done... Well, actually, no way. Thinking about it, no. It wasn't a very dumb decision. Actually, that was probably the best pick that Raw made to getting from SmackDown over to Raw. But if you're talking about negotiation, trades, and all that kind of stuff, it was kind of a good trade because Kevin Owens, being the U.S. champion, his style of quality matches that he can put on, with as well as Dean Ambrose, pretty much replacing that same exact thing. So you get a lot out of it, I guess. Dean Ambrose being on Raw will definitely help bring back the nostalgia of the Shield. So you will definitely see that at some point. You can guarantee that with all three of them being faces. I mean, there's no doubt that those three are going to be your new. Is going to reform the Shield. There's no doubt about it. That brings me to my point, though. What do they become the Shield of, against? What are they protecting? What are they trying to fight against as a team? I mean, they don't have an evil faction to go up against. So there's not a whole lot going on with the heel side of things as faction goes. And when you form the Shield together, who are they going to fight against, really, to be honest with you? You don't have Kevin Owens on there anymore. Finn Balor is getting injured left and right. I just read that Finn Balor got a concussion, so he might be out for a few weeks. Thankfully, not for like 6 to 8 months like he just went through with a recent injury. I mean, you got Braun Strowman. You could definitely put him in a faction with Samoa Joe. And maybe one other person to fill in that void to make it a 3-on-3 type of faction warfare. But that's about it. So, I mean, I'm really, I guess, okay with Dean Ambrose being part of the Raw roster simply because he is part of the Shield. He is a Shield member, and on top of it, he has put on some really good performances. So I guess I would roll with that. Bray Wyatt being on Raw makes absolutely no fucking sense. Number one, they're also having him challenge for the WWE title on a Raw pay-per-view, with the WWE title being a Smackdown brand championship. And the Universal title still on Raw and not even being tampered with. So that leaves up to question. This is going to be a very predictable match. Randy Orton, of course, is going to retain the title, and Bray Wyatt's going to stay on Raw. Big fucking whoop-de-doo. Not to mention, who the hell gets... how does Bray Wyatt move forward with this? Once again, Bray Wyatt is left out in the cold with no momentum and not building into what he deserves to be. But, I mean, quite honestly, there's nothing there for Bray Wyatt in this scenario. I mean, Bray Wyatt really doesn't have a lot of momentum going into Raw. So it is kind of sad seeing him going to have to lose again to Randy Orton. Him winning the WWE title back would be kind of silly because he's on Raw. It would make a little bit more sense if he was on Smackdown and he wins the title, and then the title stays where it belongs. But, hey, they're going to do what they're going to do, and that's really all there is to it, I guess. But, I mean, I feel bad for Bray Wyatt. I don't see him getting anything out of this being on Raw, so it kind of sucks in my opinion. So I don't really like that whatsoever. Another bad pick, though, for WWE's Raw brand. Why the hell would you go after Kurt Hawkins, Apollo Crews, and fucking and Kalisto? Like, why the hell would you go after Kalisto for? There's nothing there. Kalisto is shit, and fucking Heath Slater and Rhino. Out of all the tag team partners on SmackDown, you couldn't pick something better than that? I mean, they got nothing but jobbers that they got for Raw over from SmackDown. Raw really fucked themselves. I mean, a good pick, though, for the women's division is Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. That was a really good pick. I have to admit that. So the women's division got two really good picks out of SmackDown. But the mid card and main eventers out of SmackDown that Raw could have gotten, they refused to go after, which doesn't make any sense to me. Not to mention the whole idea and perspective that they were going for was a complete, flat, bland way of doing things. Just stars from SmackDown would show up and announce, hey, I'm here. I'm part of Raw or SmackDown. Voila, here I am. Whoop-de-doo. Who fucking cares? So, with that being said, let's go into SmackDown's deal. Let me see here. Just give me 1 second to pull this up. Damn it. Hold on 1 second, guys. Just to get SmackDown's results and their stars that went to SmackDown from Raw. Well, obvious. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, terrific picks for SmackDown Live. They got a hell of a bunch of good performers. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Charlotte, Tamina, kind of okay. The Shining Stars could live without them, I guess. Nothing exciting there. Hold on 1 second, guys. To get the full-on aspect of this. Randy Orton, again, was interfered just to get into SmackDown review a little bit, besides just the picks. Damn. Okay. 1 second, I'm just trying to get the results up here so I can go ahead and give you guys the full-on scoop of what I thought of this show. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn was a great pick. Tamina and Charlotte, great. Charlotte was a great pick. Tamina was an average pick at best. Jinder Mahal, just Ginger shoot up Mahal. What the fuck, man? The Shining Stars, no. I mean, they looked pretty damn good, though, on SmackDown in comparison to what they've been doing on Raw. They definitely made an impact, though, on the show. Randy Orton, Luke Harper. There was a match between, not Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. There was a match between those two. Nothing exciting really happened. Bray Wyatt pretty much doing the same dippity-doo-dah promo, saying, hey, I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. Fuck off and go suck a dick. You suck, Bray. I mean, your promos are the same fucking thing over and over and over again, like Roman Reigns' fucking moves in the middle of the ring. So give me a break and do something different for a change, you know? Say something a little bit different. It seems like the same fucking bullshit. The Usos and the versus American Alpha for the tag team titles. Very good match. Enjoyed it a lot. They've been having very close one-on-one altercations with each other for the tag titles, and I thought the match was fantastic. This is where the Shining Stars interfered and made an impact on SmackDown. Mojo Rawley versus Jinder Mahal. Who the fuck cares about that match? That was shit. Jinder Mahal once again loses. Shane McMahon came out, as I already mentioned. He states that there would be two new female wrestlers on the women's roster on SmackDown. Of course, Charlotte and Tamina. We also got Sin Cara and Rusev heading over to SmackDown too. Rusev being on SmackDown, I think, might rejuvenate his career, build him back up to being the old Rusev. I think that they really need to do something good with him. They have the potential of doing something really neat, and I think they can. If they build him up really well and make him look strong as can be, going through the Mojo Rileys, the fucking you name it, whoever they got on the SmackDown roster that's in the lower end spectrum, build him up into this dominating superstar, and then eventually have him win a number one contenders match for the United States title for a third time, and have him win that belt. I think, and have him not beat AJ Styles, but make him look really, really good. Because I think that would be the best way of doing it, is having AJ versus as U.S. champion against Rusev. But then again, I don't think that would work either. Hopefully something they can do with Rusev, but I think they have the potential of building him back up again, putting him somewhere new and fresh. Might help him out quite a bit. Sin Cara, who cares about that? The New Day is actually on SmackDown now. This should be interesting. Maybe they'll start getting back into the groove of things and start being a little bit more important than they were before. And that's about it. I already mentioned about the AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn match. Baron Corbin loses, and so does Sami Zayn. AJ picks up the victory with a phenomenal forearm against Sami Zayn for the 1-2-3. Very fantastic main event in comparison to Raw's main event, which was inferior to SmackDown's main event, may I add. But anyway, guys, leave your comments and opinions down below, and I'll definitely get back to you on that. I forgot to also mention Dolph Ziggler cutting a promo, and Shinsuke Nakamura once again making an appearance on SmackDown. This could be something of a very good potential for Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler to work well together with. I do believe that there ain't no chance in hell Dolph Ziggler will beat Nakamura one time in any of their confrontations in the ring. I do believe Nakamura will win every single one of them. If they decide at any point to do more than that, have Dolph Ziggler win one match against Nakamura, they are fucking crazy. I mean, seriously, out of their fucking mind. Dolph Ziggler is a great talent, but all he can do is look good losing. That's all he seems to do. And that's basically it. Hopefully Dolph Ziggler and Shinsuke Nakamura get a match at the pay-per-view for Nakamura's debut match on SmackDown's pay-per-view Backlash. So I hope that happens, and that's pretty much all I have to say on this. The draft pick, well, not draft picks, but the switches on the rosters, there were some really good ones, and then there was some really, well, who gives a fuck kind of changes. It doesn't really make a difference. But anyway, guys, leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit the like button if you like this video, and hit that subscribe button, and I'll speak to you guys later. Thanks a lot. Bye.